Today on Voiding Warranties, I'm going to do one of the most dangerous pieces of maintenance you can ever do on a rotary engine with it in the car. I'm going to replace the front eccentric shaft seal because I'm leaking oil, and that is not good.
While I have said this disclaimer before, I'm going to say it again just to be abundantly clear for this video. This is not a do-it-yourself. These are not instructions for how to do it. Do not try this at home.
Alright, I cut ahead a few steps through all the boring stuff. I've got the turbocharger off, and now you can clearly see all this oil splatter that's coming from that seal down there. Now I've got to pull the hub off, and to do that I've got to first pull these pulleys off, and they have 4 bolts down here. I have to pull the eccentric shaft trigger plate off, and this is what measures the position of the eccentric shaft. And then I've got to pull the main bolt off, and that's the tricky part. You see, on rotary engines there's a stack of spacers and thrust bearings in the front, and this is to keep everything aligned. Now this stack is held together by this main bolt, and when you assemble the engine it's held together by gravity. Now gravity isn't helping me in this position. Now there's a trick to this. If I wedge something in to keep the clutch pedal down to the floor, I can prevent the entire stack from shifting because I'll keep it loaded forward. So I can remove the bolt, everything stays in the same place, change the seal, put the bolt back, everybody's fine. If I get it wrong though, then one of the thrust bearings will drop, and one of two things will happen. Either I'll notice and I'll have to pull the engine and rebuild it, or I won't notice, I'll start the engine and it'll trash a whole bunch of internals. This can be pretty severe. We need to get it right the first time. All right, I've got the front pulleys removed, so now I can reach the front hub bolt. Now in order to loosen this, I have to have something resisting me turning it, so I have the car in 6th gear. Remember what I told you earlier about having the clutch pedal pressed to the floor in order to remove it? That's still true, but I can't do that until after I have it loosened. Otherwise I'll never be able to get the torque on it. Now some people will say that using an impact driver will work great on this. That hasn't been my experience, but I haven't had a powerful enough impact driver. My experience is that with the Loctite on here, you have to actually put some serious torque on it. Impact is not enough. So I'm going to be using a cheater bar and hopefully loosening this thing up. Let's see what happens. Handy dandy jack handle cheater bar. This thing has served this function more than once before. And it's fixing to rain. This is excellent. All right, it's loosened and it's raining. The rain is almost stopped. I've got my clutch pedal depressed all the way to the floor and held there. Let's do this. And of course it turns freely. Plan B. So here's a wrap up of what happened with the eccentric shaft seal. I got the front hub bolt off with the impact driver after wedging the clutch pedal. Now again, this is very important. You have to wedge the clutch pedal before removing the front hub bolt, otherwise bad things happen. Now after I did that, I removed the front hub, I removed the front seal, and I did that using a screwdriver wrapped in electrical tape and a hammer because it's always important to use the proper tools for the job. Once I had the seal out, I realized the whole thing was disintegrated, and of course I don't think I even got pictures of that. Then I took the new seal, lubricated it up a little bit, and tapped it in with a screwdriver until I had it in place. I went and installed the front hub bolt with red Loctite and black RTV, and put everything back together, and she ran. Haven't had any issues since, and it's been like a month or two since then. So yeah, you can actually do this in your driveway in the rain, replace the front hub bolt on a rotary engine. But I don't recommend it. This is not a how-to, this is not a do-it-yourself kind of thing. Please, if you have any question on what you're doing, stop and don't do it, because you can break things. I'm a professional in a very well-controlled working environment. If you did this in your own driveway in the rain, you'd probably mess it up and break something, so don't do it. But If you've liked this video and found it amusing, please click like. If you want to see more like it, click subscribe. And if you're just waiting for some form of catastrophe to happen, click subscribe, because they can and do. And if you want to make any comments or have any questions, that's what the comments are for. So hey, until next time, keep on voiding warranties.